you addicted to coffee? Do you take coffee to start your day? Are you among those who take coffee to regulate bathroom breaks? We will discuss too much intake of coffee or caffeine in bad for health. Kindly subscribe to my channel. 1. More than 4 cups of coffee linked to early death. A Mayo Clinic partnered study found that men who drank more than 4 fluid ounces cups of coffee had a 21% increase in all-cause mortality. However, those that reported that they consumed excessive amounts of caffeine were also likely to smoke and have poor fitness. 2. Caffeine consumption may raise blood pressure, especially in those already suffering from hypertension and those who don't normally consume caffeine. People with hypertension were given 250 milligrams of caffeine, about 2 coffees, and the data revealed that their blood pressure was elevated for about 2 to 3 hours after the caffeine. A second study performed by the Mayo Clinic found similar results from a 160 milligrams dose. All participants experienced a marked rise in blood pressure, and it was the most pronounced in those that didn't normally consume caffeine. 3. Increased risk of heart attacks among young adults. A study found that young adults who were diagnosed with mild hypertension had 4 times the risk of having a heart attack if they consumed the amount of caffeine equivalent to 4 cups of coffee. More moderate consumption showed 3 times the risk. 4. Caffeine linked to gout attacks. This study showed that people who binge on caffeinated beverages increase their risk for a gout flare-up. 5. Breast tissue cysts in women. One study showed that women who consumed 31 to 250 milligrams of caffeine per day had a 1.5-fold increase in the odds of developing fibrocystic breast disease. And women who drank over 500 milligrams per day had a 2.3-fold increase in the odds of developing cysts. 6. Caffeine could cause incontinence. A study out of the University of Alabama showed that women who consume a lot of caffeine are 70% more likely to develop incontinence. 7. Caffeine may cause insomnia. Caffeine in a person's system at bedtime can mimic the symptoms of insomnia, as it stimulates the receptor. 8. Caffeine can cause indigestion. People who consume caffeinated beverages often report an upset stomach or indigestion. This mainly occurs when the beverages are consumed on an empty stomach. 9. Caffeine can cause headaches. While occasional doses of caffeine can relieve headache symptoms, the overuse of caffeine can cause headaches and lead to migraines. 10. Caffeine could reduce fertility in women. A study from the University of Nevada School of Medicine showed that caffeine can reduce a woman's chances of becoming pregnant by about 27%. 11. Caffeine and miscarriage risk. In a recent study, both men and women who consumed at least 2 caffeinated beverages a day during the weeks prior to conception slightly increased the risks of a miscarriage. 12. Caffeine may not be healthy for type 2 diabetics. A study conducted by the American Diabetes Association showed that caffeine impaired glucose metabolism in those with type 2 diabetes. 13. Caffeine overdose. While overdose is rare, it can lead to many adverse symptoms including death, especially in those with underlying medical conditions. Some have a lower tolerance for caffeine than others. 14. Caffeine allergies. Some people have oversensitivity to the caffeine molecule, which causes allergic-like reactions in the body such as hives and pain. Although not a true allergy, many report very negative symptoms after consuming even the smallest amounts. 15. Caffeine causes more forceful heart contractions. A recent study showed that immediately after energy drink consumption the heart produced more forceful contractions. It is unclear if this has any long-term health implications except for those with known health conditions. 16. Worse menopause symptoms. A recent study published in the Journal of the North American Menopause Society showed that menopausal women who consumed caffeine had a greater degree of vasomotor symptoms. 17. Caffeine consumption can lead to increased anxiety, depression and the need for anxiety medication. 18. Caffeine increases the number of sugary beverages consumed by people, which contributes to obesity and diabetes. 19. Caffeine inhibits collagen production in the skin. This effect is dose-dependent but really heavy caffeine consumers should be aware. 20. Caffeine interferes with ossification and could also lead to a greater risk of bone fractures. This is dose-dependent, but heavy caffeine consumers should take note. Hope you like it. Kindly subscribe to my channel.